Hello, my kings and queens. What's going on, you guys? Welcome to Financial Fashion Talk Podcast, episode 24. I'm the CEO, Mr. John Best.
CFO, Mr. Riley Best.
And so what's going on? What's going on, you guys? We're glad to be on just once again. We said we was going to do a random live today. I told you guys in advance. I didn't want to put a time out, but I wanted to make a little fun and just get on live just at a random time. So what's going on, CFO? We wanted to switch things up.
Man, nothing too much, man. Enjoyed this work day, though it wasn't as profitable as I wanted it to be. As I see the coronavirus is having its effect on everything, man. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, man, it's always amazing to be able to say nevertheless, man, no matter what the circumstances are. What about yourself, Mr. CFO?
Man, today has been a busy day, been ripping and running, but you know, I'm just glad to be on to talk to the people because in this time of distress, we still want to give people value. You know what I'm saying? We still valuable and we want to let other people know how valuable they are too. So let's go ahead and hop in on the topic. So what I wanted to talk about today is effective planning.
Oh, man.
Effective planning, because one thing about what's happening right now is that none of us saw it coming. Like we said on the last podcast, none of us saw it coming. So now we see the importance of having a plan.
Right.
You know, because if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail.
Most definitely.
So let's talk about what the word plan actually means. And we're gonna go into depth into it.
Okay.
So I looked up the definition. I wanted to get a literal definition of the word plan. And the definition of plan is a decision or intention on what someone is getting ready to do.
Okay.
So that sounds to me that you gotta make a decision. It say it's a decision or intention. So you know what I'm saying? It's a deliberate.
Right.
It's something deliberate, something that you have to do on purpose.
Right.
So before we get further into detail about what we're talking about, what I want you to do is give your view on planning. Like what's so important about planning in your perspective? What's important about planning?
Well, I can say for me, you know, in my life and my perspective on planning, and you know, as much as I haven't done it and as great of an effect as not doing it had on my life, like planning, man, is very important. You know what I mean? It's kind of like this premeditated thing that you do to kind of slingshot yourself ahead.
That's a good word.
You know, to be prepared for the unexpected. You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of living like randomly from day to day.
Right.
You know what I mean? But planning is very important. You know, planning is very, very important, man. It's always good to pre-prepare.
Okay, now let's take it a step further. Now, okay, I asked you what was important about planning.
Oh, what's important about planning?
Yeah, like what do you see? Like, let's talk about the importance of effective planning. So I'm saying, like, what is important? Like, tell your perspective on that. Like, why is it so important to you in your life?
Well, as I previously said, man, you know, seeing the effects of not doing it, man.
Talk about that in detail.
Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like this, man. You know, I'm 33 years old. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty much not where I want to be in life right now. You know what I mean? And I feel like that came from not having a plan for my life. You know what I mean? And I feel like that came from me living day to day, you know, like living randomly. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going from one shack to another.
Right.
But I'm never, you know, putting in the work to build my home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to one spot to another with no stability. You know what I mean? Right. And when you don't have stability, like you're unstable. You know what I mean?
It's hard to make decisions.
Yeah, I say that. Yeah, that's better said. Well said. When you're unstable, it's harder to make decisions. You know what I mean? Because you don't even have a preconceived notion about what you're doing, like later. You know what I mean? Like you living in it now.
Exactly.
Like,
Now, what you're saying is very true. Now, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to look up that word, like the definition of the word. And I was very surprised with that definition. It said an intention or decision to do something that one wants to do.
Right.
So what I'm saying, like with life, sometimes when you talk about having a relationship with somebody, they ask you this question: what's your intention?
Right.
So I don't know why, but we don't think the same thing about our lives. We look at our lives as something that's random. But your life is really a thing.
Right.
Like, life is really a thing.
Right.
So ask yourself this question: what is your intention for life?
Right.
We have all of these intentions. We have all these expectations that we want life to bring us. But ask the question: what are your intentions with your own life?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's how I had to ask myself, like, what do I want? What is my intentions with my life? Because sometimes, like, we just expect things to come into our life without us doing anything for it to happen.
Right.
Like it's going to magically appear.
Right.
But what are your intentions with your life? So the same way you ask, in certain situations, what's your intentions? The same way you ask that question, you got to apply that to yourself in your everyday life. Like, what's my intentions with my life?
Well, you know what? And there's no rebuttal for that. You know what I mean? That's totally true. But I feel like this, man. We do plan.
Talk.
You know what I'm saying? Like we do plan. I do plan. But the planning that I do is not profitable. You know what I'm saying? It's only for I would call it like short-term planning.
Wow.
It's short-term planning, but it's not profitable.
Where did that come from? Since we talking like you being transparent, you being very transparent.
I would say it comes from my instant gratification.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because I make sure that I prepare, and do whatever I need to do to fulfill the need of the things that I want.
Wow.
As far as lust goes.
Right.
You know what I mean? And lust, it could go many ways.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I do plan for that.
Right.
And I have planned for that. You know what I'm saying? But as far as effective planning,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've effectively planned in a digressive way. You know what I'm saying? Like not a progressive way.
So what we're saying though, I know we just don't want to get on here and talk about problems.
Right.
So the whole reason why we wanted to talk about planning is like we have to make better decisions going forward.
Right.
With everything that's going on, like who would have known that they would have less money coming in right now?
Oh, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't necessarily plan for these situations to happen.
Right.
But one thing that we all can do, we can strive to be our best selves every day.
True that.
Regardless of circumstances, regardless of what's going on, like that's something that we have control over. We have control over what we dedicate ourselves to every day. So if we can dedicate ourselves to improving ourselves and being better, like times like these won't affect us negatively. Now, of course, we all have, it's like cause and effect. Of course, there's going to be some results that we're going to get from things that happen like this.
Right.
But in your head space, you'll be more equipped to endure these inconveniences in life because you was already heading towards
that direction.
A better way.
Right.
So that's why we wanted to bring attention on effective planning. Because, man, having an effective plan gives you insight. It gives you insight in the direction. So that's why the definition of a plan is an intention.
Right.
So you make an intention on what you got to do. But before you make that intention, you have to kind of need to know what you want. You see what I'm saying?
Vision. You got to have a vision.
Right.
You got to first off have a vision, because without a vision, like you won't have a plan. Like you won't create a plan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Before a building is built, there's an architect. You know what I mean? And he writes up the plans for how the building is supposed to be designed.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? But before the architect even drew out the plans for the building to be designed, there was an idea There was a vision.
Exactly.
That was given to the architect to write out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if we don't have a vision or idea of where we want to see ourselves, we're going to continue to be exactly where we are.
Right.
And we're going to continue to be exactly what we don't want to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
So we do plan, you know, but a lot of times we plan to be where we don't want to be.
Right.
And it's not intentional. I think it's unconscious.
That's what I'm saying. And see, now we're getting there. We're getting to that mindset that we was talking about. See, to even plan, it takes the mindset to see that you need to plan.
Right.
And so that's why we're spreading awareness of effective planning. Because sometimes it's not that you don't have the ability to plan, it's that you don't have the mindset to see that you need to plan.
Right.
So we're trying to wake up. We're trying to wake up that mindset in other people to see like, hey man, we all got battles. We all, you know what I'm saying, got different things that we're fighting with. But we can't let that overcome us in decision making in life, because every action there's a result.
Right, man.
You see what I'm saying?
Right,
every action there's a result. You know, whether that's conscious or unconscious. Like you just said, it may be unconscious. You may be unconsciously making decisions.
Right.
But those unconscious decisions, like you paying for them.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And it's like, you know, what was happening for me was, you know, I would get mad because the position in life that I was in. Like, I would be mad, you know what I mean? And feel some kind of way because like, oh man, I'm this and I'm that and I'm here and I don't want to be here. But at the same time, like the decisions that I'm making, you know, they were negatively affecting me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was coming from me.
Right.
So that's another thing, man. That's probably a whole nother conversation. But we have to understand and realize that the decisions that we make is gonna give us the results. You know what I mean? That create like where we are in life.
And it's whatever you want. Like that's one of the main things that I'm learning. I'm learning in life personally. I'm learning like whatever I want, I can have it. Like whatever type of life I want, whatever I want to do, I can do it. You see what I'm saying? That's how I believe, and that's how my mindset is. And that's how I go after things, because I believe I can. So I said that to say this. Like whatever type of life you want to live, or whatever life you dreaming of living, like it's possible. So it takes that mindset, that very mindset to dream, that very mindset to have an imagination to help you plan. It helps you to plan.
Right.
Because you tap into what you want. You tap into your desires. You tap into that inner power to create.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But if you never think about that, you'll never tap into it. You see what I'm saying? Like, you'll never tap into like the things that you could possibly do, because everybody got potential built up inside of them, bro.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just takes somebody to tell you. It takes the environment sometimes to pull that out of you.
Well, you know what? I don't know. I kind of disagree with that, because I heard that a lot of my life.
What's up?
Like, you know, like, man, you got a great potential. You got, you know what I mean? You got, he has great potential, but he just doesn't apply himself. But I never really understood. I didn't know what they were talking about. You know what I'm saying? So
no, I'm talking about in detail though. Like I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Like, I ain't saying like, okay, yeah, you got potential, young kid, and then I just walk away and just leave you with
you in a certain direction.
Like, nah, like of course it's gonna take like what we doing. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like the stuff that we're putting out is to create that mindset.
Right.
In the individuals who may not have it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And to those who do have it, we just want to empower them to continue to have it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just transmitting that energy off into other people, man. Transmitting the messages off, because we personally go through the same thing.
Right.
And while we grow through it, we encourage others to do the same thing. So that's what we're saying about planning. Like, we're all caught off guard during this situation.
Right.
But going forward in life, we gotta just make, you know, better decisions and think about what we really want. And it's not a time to quit, you know what I'm saying, on your dreams or whatever aspirations you have. Like, this time, you got time now to really work on stuff. You got time now to really get your mind and stuff together. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, because a lot of us really complained about going to work.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. A lot of us complained about going to work.
Right.
And now that the hours is getting cut, everybody want to act sad. But you know what I'm saying? You secretly kind of wanted this.
Right.
Not under these circumstances, but you got what you wanted.
Right.
So now let's use this time let's be smart with using our time.
Right.
You know, and use your time to work on something that can help you. You know what I'm saying? Help you, help your family. You know what I'm saying? Help other people.
Right. Right.
And that's all we saying, bro.
Yeah, I get that. And even and this is another aspect. You know, I'm kind of speaking from a personal aspect.
Go ahead.
You know, being in a position where like you got so far like up in age, you know what I mean, and like now you want to try to make preparations for future. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. It's not something easy to do, but it's something that is tangible. You know what I mean? Because you know, your kids getting older. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of factors that play into it, like the digression of not using effective planning. You know what I'm saying? But it's never too late. I would say it like that. It's never too late, because you know, sometimes I get discouraged. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it's like, dang, man.
Right. I feel
You know what I'm saying?
It's like older people who go back to school.
Say what?
Just like older people who go back to school.
Oh, right.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of uncomfortable. Because,
Right, man.
You're not satisfied, but at the same time, you know, you got work to do.
Right.
So it's like, it's just, or another thing, like, overweight person that don't like working out in front of people.
Right.
It's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that weird feeling of like, I'm ashamed of where I am, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like,
But I mean, but see, that's the beautiful thing about it, because if you can say I'm ashamed of where I am, and then at the same time say I'm gonna do something about it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go ahead and do something about it, no matter what.
Right.
And that's the part that's gotta grab on to. Like, I'm gonna do something about it, no matter what.
That's that mindset.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, definitely change that mindset. You know, and start making preparations. You know, and planning, man. On my job, man, I deliver water, and sometimes I take too much water into my stops. You know, and sometimes the people tell me like, "Oh, you brought too much in," and I say, I'd rather have too much than not have enough. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to you don't want to put more work on yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you go in unprepared, you got to go back out and get whatever else you need. But if you go ahead and get everything you need and then go, like, you'll have everything plus some if you need it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what effective planning is. To have more than you need and then not have enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather be over prepared than under prepared.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's the main objective of effective planning. You know what I mean? It might seem like a mountain, but it's tangible. It's tangible. You know, and I just want to say that it's tangible.
Right. And that to, like, we're gonna go ahead and go into about the incremental movement. So the incremental movement, this is what it's all about. Like you just said, planning. And you said it can be done, it's possible. You know what I'm saying? I know we got a lot of work to do, and it's possible, but step by step. We do want to continue to say that. And we're gonna continue to drive the incremental movement as well, because like, these things has to be worked on. I know it's kind of hard to hear, because it's hard for us to talk about ourselves.
Right.
It's hard to talk about ourselves, but we have to understand that, like, we are here. We are here for everybody that's battling with things. We are here for those that need encouragement, for those that need empowerment. Like, we are there. So we're going to use the incremental movement to help those who are working on goals and not necessarily having an easy time doing it. So we're going to create an environment to where it's safe for people to come to and express the difficulties of going after their goals. We can encourage them and help them and hold them accountable so they can continue and not quit.
Right.
So that's what it's all about. And now that we see that we have to plan better going forward, step by step. You know what I'm saying? Put that up as a goal.
Right.
Plan effectively, and we're going to look for things that'll help us plan effectively.
Right.
Like for me, sometimes I forget to do things. So I use my reminder on my phone. Like, sometimes I forget to plan. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you be wanting to plan and you have every intention on planning.
Right.
But due to how your mind be set up, and there be a lot of things on your mind, sometimes you forget. So you have to set yourself up for your goals as well. Like, don't just set your goals, but set yourself up. Like, get your plans together so you can go step by step, so you'll know what you need to do.
Right.
Anything else you would like to add? And also, Go to our Incremental Movement page if you want to leave your goals so we can hold you accountable and keep you encouraged throughout the week. You can do that. The page is open up until we get 100 followers, and then we'll be creating a closed group, a closed community of people to keep each other motivated. And so by then you won't be able to freely join the group. I have to accept you into the group.
Right. But I mean, it's for all of us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's for all of us, man.
Right.
Like, not only will we hold, accountability, but you all hold accountability as well. To us.
Yeah,
because like it's a united thing. You know what I mean? It's strength in numbers. So you got a whole group of people, man, with the same goal in mind. We'll definitely get a lot accomplished individually. But with a group of motivation.
Right.
But yeah, man, that's about it, man.
That's about it. I thank you guys for joining in, man. Episode 24, we still going strong, man. Everybody stay safe, everybody stay clean, take proper precautions, you know what I'm saying? But hey, don't forget to still grind. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget about yourself. Don't forget to still work on yourself. I know it's a lot going on, but don't forget about you.
Most definitely.
Anything you got left, CFO?
Nah, we good, man.
Hey, so the King 1 is out. King 2 is out. I'm the CEO, Mr. Best.
CFO, Mr. Briley.